You are in a dark and damp corridor. Indefinable but certainly unpleasant liquids drip from the ceiling. The drops hit the floor, but produce silence. Suddenly, your radar lights up. Something is approaching, fast. You raise your weapon, ready to face it, and finally... Oh, okay, I might have overdone it, but if I had done the sound design, my game wouldn't be much better. Hi, I'm Jack, and I'm developing Project Embryo, a VR survival horror inspired by games like Dead Space, Doom 3 and System Shock. It is, mostly, a solo project. I'm handling almost all the environment art, the game design, the animations, but I've got my limits, a big one when it comes to sound design. And what's the problem, It's not like it's the most important thing in horror games, along with the lighting, right? So the funny thing is that actually, even if you think that you know how important sound design is, you actually don't unless you're a sound designer. You don't. We will see an example soon, but this is one of those things where you don't even know what you don't know. Luckily, Andrea does. Here he is! Andrea is the sound designer at the studio I work at, and luckily for me, is taking care of the game's sounds. Let's see him working on one of the game's areas. This is the cathedral, is a gigantic matrix of radiators cooling the base structures. It's a part of the maintenance sector, which is the first level of the game. And what might such an area sound like? What sound does ice make? I will admit, if it were up to me, I would have created some slow motor noises, something like a fridge, and that would have been it. Just to make the area a little bit more threatening, I asked Andrea to add some breathing sounds, to also give the idea of air being cooled, but mainly for the threatening effect. And he created them, and they are fantastic. Here they are. Nonetheless, being the professional that he is, he did so much more. This is what the room sounds like now. So were we wondering what ice sounds like, huh? Well, apparently it sounds like rustling and screeching noises, like sharp metals that deforms under the cold. And all these sound details brought the environment to a life that I couldn't imagine it having. And obviously this goes for all the level environments. This is the Spider. It's a machine in the gas management sector, made of metals and rubber. Its function is letting exhaust gases pass through it, and this is the sound it makes. Most people passing by got scared. There aren't any jump scares, they just found it scary. It's very effective. But since this is a video game and not a movie, we also had to design the sounds of the interactive parts of the level. In every case, the sound helped to give personality to the game world and suggest functions that would have been a little hard to animate or show visually. For example, when we connected this battery to open the door, can you hear the fans and the motors kicking in? This gives the impression that, it's a battery and powers a whole series of systems, not just this door. It reduces the gameplayiness of the action. It makes it feel more like an actual world and a little bit less like a game level. Or this. This is a machine that consumes organic matter and generates oxygen. The animation is very simple, but hear it with the sound. What I love most about sound is its ability to suggest more than what is visible. Obviously, it also immerses the player in the world and gives feedback on what they're doing. An obvious example is the sound of objects thrown around. Every object has its sound, from the heaviest to the lightest, to more unique items. But since Andrea is a professional, we didn't stop at impact sounds. VR is awesome for the level of interaction that you can have with the environment, so why not add some cool features? So you can, for example, shake briefcases to hear the items inside. Or you can move your weapon to hear its hinges clicking. The weapon also has a series of sounds to communicate its gameplay state and give it a bit of personality. But my favorite work by Andrea, and the last one that I will talk about, is the enemy sound design. I had a relatively few guidelines for this. Artistically, I wanted it to be clear that it was a broken, a malfunctioning, a suffering creature as much as a robot can suffer. And I wanted it to have some insectoid notes in its sounds. The resulting aesthetic amazed me. The creature has a complex and layered soundscape that gives it great personality in my opinion. It's made of gargles and higher pitched screeches. Also, when it comes to gameplay, sound is crucial to understanding the creature's alert state. I have a stealth system, so the enemy has two distinct sets of sounds. One for when it's suspicious, and one for when it's in full alert. Both have several variations to keep them fresh, but it was crucial to make them two distinct categories. Then, when it loses sight of us and tries to find us, it starts grunting angrily. I love these beasts, and I love all the other sound designs, from the telekinetic sound to the rudder sound. It gives the whole game a great personality, and the project definitely wouldn't be the same without it. Thank you so much to Andrea, and thank you all for watching. We will see each other in the next video. Have a good day.